Well, the fight's never over for the unborn child. We have never ever said that we were fighting for women's rights, pro-choice, whatever. We've always said right from the beginning that we're fighting for the unborn child because the unborn child hasn't got a voice. Women have got voices and they use them. That's fair enough. But the unborn child hasn't. So we have always spoken for the unborn child. As far as that's concerned, obviously, it's a tragic defeat, and we have really been, well, although we're sad, we've resigned to it because we could see the way things were going. But you don't stop fighting for something that you believe is right just because you see the way it's going.
Well, what does come next for you then?
Well, life, other groups may be pure campaigners. Life has always been a counselling and caring group, and that's what we'll continue to do. We will continue being there for women who want help, and there are women who want help. The Abortion Act has changed things drastically, and sometimes there is a saying that says sometimes you get what you hope for, and it's not always. It doesn't always turn out to be exactly right, and sometimes people regret it. But that's as maybe. We will just continue being there for people who want help, and life has always been that way. Life in the UK, there's life houses all over the UK, and there are many hundreds of women who will testify to having been helped by them. And we on the Isle of Man, it's different here because we're a closed community. We won't probably work the same way, but we will always be there. We have a helpline for women who find that they are just horrified with the condition they're in, and they need help. We will obviously give the pro-life help, because that's what we are. But there's a helpline. It's in Yellow Pages. Its number is 62015 if anybody would like help. And we will never, ever judge people, whether the woman is thinking of having an abortion, whether she's had one. We will never judge. We think of the unborn child, but we do also think about the mother. And that's what our remit is. We will carry on.
Obviously, you're now refocusing your attentions, where you concentrate your attentions now. But do you feel you still have a mandate to stage protests?
Well, I think people have not quite noticed that life has never protested. We have stood with signs and things. We've never protested. We've just simply let people know how we think, and we've let people know how we think from the point of view of the unborn child. Mr. Henderson, he said he's glad about this bill because it's brought us into the 21st century, and we should all recognise, to quote him, we are all equal. Well, I agree with Mr. Henderson there. We are all equal, but I think he was perhaps thinking more on the lines of George Orwell, who said we're all equal, but some are more equal than most. This bill is not equal for the child, who is a human being and has been just cast aside, really. And so I agree we should all be equal, but all equal means equal. It means everybody the same, and the child has not hardly been mentioned.
Just very briefly, because we are running out of time, but what do you make of the plans of the buffer zones?
Well, as far as life's concerned, that's, again, an irrelevance, really, because we have never, ever stood outside places to protest, never. Life is essentially a caring, counselling service, and we will just continue.
Is it worth reassuring people then that there isn't going to be
Well,
protests?
not from life, no. Well, there will be no people standing outside with placards outside. If there is, horror of horror as far as we're concerned, an abortion facility, we won't be standing outside it.